How everybody doing? This Chris Drummond from Progressive Action. So I meant to do this earlier, but out the blue, my wife asked me to go with her to get a Christmas tree. She ain't tell me nothing all day, all week, just all of a sudden, just popped that on me. So that's why it's so late. Hope everybody having a good Sunday. But before I move on, just let me make something clear to the union. I'm never going to stop talking about these fake charges. And secondly, this union is a corrupt entity. And you're not going to stop me from running. I didn't come to transit to fight. I brought my fight with me when I came to transit. So there's nothing you're going to do to stop me. We're going to fight. TWU has lost plenty of times. You're lost. So let's go. I'm going to keep talking about that. And let me read this Bible verse, Proverbs 12:20. Deceit is in the heart of those who plot evil, but those who promote peace have joy. So I'm good. Know that. I'm going to stay fighting. I read that civil suit. I called Trammell the other day. And I read the whole thing. And this is disturbing. Y'all know that. And as a dude paying members facing fake charges, I think everybody is innocent until proven guilty. Richie Davis didn't believe that when Trammell got into, when they assaulted Trammell at Bedford Park, he didn't believe in guilty, innocent before proven guilty. He made some reckless comments, some of the most irresponsible comments in the history of TWU, and the most irresponsible comments for anybody could make to the press in any organization. But let me afford him a courtesy that he didn't afford Trammell after Trammell was assaulted at Bedford Park. And I've heard things about Richie Davis for years. He probably got one of the most sordid reputations of anybody. But I never took him for a woman beater. And like I said in the title, I don't think he's fit for duty. I don't think he's fit to lead Michael Quayle's union. And TA, Lieber, Richard Davey, and the whole, they must love this debacle of a union we got. First, we got a vice president that assaults a member, barred from the property, given 30 days, and the final from labor relations. Then we got a president who's accused, being investigated for sexual assault, have a civil suit for assaulting a woman who's a member of the union, who works at 195 Montague. So how much can his membership take? How much more can we be embarrassed? They gave us nothing for COVID. They starve us back to work when we're on comp. The union allowed TA to hijack us with the Carville Corporation. Discipline's out of control. Supervisors do what they want. We have a union and an agency who refuses to evolve, refuses to change. We have reps invite labor relations to barbecue. We got a vice chair that bangs members in to management. I talk about that tomorrow or Tuesday. Yeah, that was coming. And TA, I just want to talk about Richie Davis today. And this is, let's be honest, this is bigger than Richie Davis. And I'm sure at Transit, we got folks, unfortunately, we probably got folks that are woman beaters. And I'm sure, and listen, we got a lot of folks that, do a lot of the playing around, fooling around. To each his own. We all grown adults. But they're not the leader of 40,000 plus members. Richie is supposed to conduct himself in a respectable manner. He's supposed to conduct himself with some sort of decorum. And he always, since day one, this man has had a cloud over him. Any responsible leader, and there have been leaders with less accusations against him, less serious accusations, and they have stepped down. And there have been responsible governing bodies like TWU, Local 100, who made folks like Richard Davis step down. Like, I don't know, again, I'm somebody that, when you read about these accusations, the first thing I used to say, is why it takes so long. But sometimes, why does it take so long to somebody who said they was a witness in a case, a felony case, a murder, a robbery, to say, I was lying? How long do it take someone sometime to say that, to confess to a crime? How long do it take someone to just say, what's going on, brother? To think about things. And you know how women are. I can only speak to black women. I know black women know that they know, sis knew, that if she banged them in or called the cops, she wouldn't say. She was in love with him, they had a relationship. That what he was doing, what he was trying to do in the union and his standing. But I don't question, because I'm not going to question sis. I'm not going to question anybody any woman who decide to go forward after they've been in an abusive relationship. I feel that way about my sister. My sisters, I will feel that way about my daughter, my nieces. So sometimes I read things, I just read the thing with Puff. With Diddy, you call him. I don't know him. With Diddy. And when I was reading, I was saying, this makes sense. This was the thing. What she was saying, something makes sense. I read things that was nonsensical and sound crazy to me. When I read Sis's her civil suit, them 16 pages, it made sense to me. I'm not somebody, I can't judge her. We're going to let the courts decide. But I'm not going to say that sis is lying. I thought that what I read was very disturbing. Very disturbing. And if you want to say bruh's innocent, why she keep getting in these situations? Why there's always a cloud? They got this manifesto online. I think this is like 25 pages of Richie Davis's exploits with women. How he allegedly has weaponized his position when he was at Mastoa. Always using his position to exploit women, allegedly. Now, is everything a coincidence about him? Is everything a coincidence with him? And why does he, as our president, he just let this with Canelo at Bedford Park, that was under his watch? What's going on right now is unprecedented. It's unprecedented. You talk to the old timers. They have nothing that's ever happened like this with Sutton. Was no accusations with Sonny Hall. You talk to the old timers. With Toussaint, Willie James, Samuelson, Utano. I don't agree with them politically. I don't agree with Latanya Chris politically. Chiarello politically. JP political. Kelly, Witchard. And most of them folks are staying united. But they're not being accused of assaulting women. You don't hear nothing. You don't hear nothing about them carousing with women. Because everybody know. You see, listen. There are women right now that I like a lot. There's women that I'll put that. I'm married, they married. We got the same energy. We got good energy together. I'm sorry. And if I didn't feel a responsibility, I'm a married man, but a responsibility to the membership to conduct myself in a certain way, maybe I would. Maybe I would. But Richie Davis has no discipline. According to everybody, you talk to anybody that know this man, he conduct himself like a very immature 50-something. Let's put it that way. And he's supposed to lead us. Richie Davis, the President's Union, is supposed to be an inspiration. The President's Union is supposed to set an example for us. Or President's Union is supposed to have some self-discipline. Not walk around with sarcasm. Not walk around trying to sell us on bad contracts. And let me read this verse from Matthew chapter 20, 26 to 28. Whomever wants to become great among you must be your servant, and whoever wants to be first must be your slave. Just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom. And that's what Richie Davis don't understand. He's supposed to put members before himself. He's supposed to put our needs first. Leadership is about service to us. Leadership is about being an example to us. In some instance, he's supposed to be better than us. We all are imperfect. We all have our faults and all that, but he does not conduct himself like a leader. That's what him and Canelo don't understand. That they got to humble themselves. They got to have some humility. They got to come to us with humility. We don't come to them. They come to us. And this man don't understand that he has no code or no ethics. His behavior is abominable. There should be no charges like this. Should be no sort of impropriety when it come. He only been on the job a year. More things that went wrong under his watch than all these some of these past presidents combined. And how much more is he gonna afflict on us? Is this just another scratch towards our death by 1,000 cuts that transit and this union constantly inflict on us? As a union, as a body, does TWU Local 100 have any pride? Is this something else that they're going to try to sweep under the rug? Like Canelo's charges that's been buried for months? How much more are us, our brothers and sisters, this membership is going to take? How much more embarrassment do we have to endure? Richard Davis was a mistake. Like I told the board, y'all have to come to that reality. Samuelson, Chiarello, the governing body, whoever it is, have to come to that reality. There's no reason for this. How does it keep happening? This is a coincidence? He says he's not a violent man. Look up violent. I looked it up. It's being harsh. It's being cruel. It's sarcasm. There's a lot of definition of violence. And I believe you have created violence. Your reign has been all about violence, starting with Canelo Gomez and what happened at Bedford Park. This situation is about violence. What did you do to make sis do this? What did you do? You did nothing, huh? That manifesto, that portfolio is just, I don't know who's read it. It's just a figment of somebody's imagination, huh? How much can this union sweep under the rug? How much can we, as a membership, how much can we ignore? How much of this are we going to endure? We're a laughing stock. We got to be a laughing stock to transit, to TA. We gotta. This whole thing, this whole union is like kids. Like a bunch of kids in the candy store. What they say, the inmates are running the asylum? That's what we are talking about here. That's what's going on. There is no leadership, and it can't be if you don't live by no code or no ethics. And this union does not. This union is compromised. We was compromised. If he was being investigated in Canela, don't you see that? Where's that credibility? He does not have the credibility to lead us. He does. There's always a cloud that's following him around. And for us, the teachers union is no better than us. The Teamsters are not better than us. Not better people than us. They don't work harder than us. The auto union don't work harder than us. The PBA ain't harder than none of these unions. But we seem to lay down. Some way, somehow, we resigned to our fate. And we're putting our fate in people that are irresponsible and who are only interested in staying in power. Richie Davis is 54. All them guys, with charge, retired already. They have their papers in their pockets. They won the election. I don't feel like if you win the election, you win the election. If you won 20 straight elections, you should be at that your tools. But you can become disconnected to our lives and what it means to be the working environment around vicious, vindictive supervisors. You can get disconnected to how the working man thinks. And I don't think everybody is bad in this union. I do think this union needs to get back to their roots. I do think this union, if they have a monicum, a pittance of unionism and self-respect, they will demand that Richie Davis step aside. For a minute, if you want to hold up that there's any credibility, any virtue to Michael Quill's union, you make this Richie Davis step aside. He is an embarrassment. He is the wrong man. There's no excuse. He let this happen. He conducted himself in a manner that sis felt the need to do this. And if you believe this, and you believe the accusations, if any part of that's true, if any parts of that true, he needs to step down. And the union do not use our money to defend him. Do not use our money to a settlement with sis. We don't pay our dues to compensate anyone for the officer's misdeeds. That's not what we pay for. We pay for representation. We pay for someone that we can respect. We pay our dues that people are gonna fight for us. Not people that fight us. Not union reps that interrogate the members and turn the blind eye to supervision. Not members who are despised by whole lines. And by that, I mean lines. The A, the B, the C, the D, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As is Canelo Gomez, I might add. But Richie Davis has fostered an environment of distrust. We didn't trust the union as is. We have very little trust for this union. We have no trust, no confidence, a vote of no confidence for Richie Davis. I'm not Drummond always hitting the union. I didn't put that civil suit out. I didn't take Brian Davis to meet with me to Bedford Park. I didn't let the Carvel Corporation and Transit hijack the comp. I don't have our brothers and sisters fight for their jobs at labor relations. I don't have union reps who don't pick up their phones. And what's the aesthetic? Like when you got a cut, they spray something on it. Or when you got toothache, they numb it up. What numbing agent are y'all gonna use for this? Y'all gonna take more people off the road? Y'all gonna give more parties and raffles? How y'all gonna sweep this under the rug? And you can't, because everyone knows we have someone representing us that we don't respect, that we don't trust, who has disgusting allegations that have been lobbied against them. What are you gonna do? What y'all gonna do? What decisions y'all gonna make on that ninth floor at the International about his behavior? His despicable behavior. Yeah, y'all told him Friday, go out there, act like things are normal. And brothers and sisters, they think they've been doing it. I don't blame them for thinking they can pull a wool over our eyes. I don't blame them for thinking they can bribe us. Or they can put something on their website. Or they can honor this person or honor that person or put something on the newsletter because we've been going for it. And enough is enough. You have kids, you have family. This, who you gonna say is your leader? Richard Davis? This embarrassment? This man that obviously has no code and no ethics. And when I was at Vegas, right, a sister came up to me. Matter of fact, I ain't going to talk about Vegas. I didn't behave myself at Vegas. I ain't do nothing. I got my own room. But Vegas is Vegas. You go crazy with it. So I ain't going to say nothing. What happened in Vegas stayed in Vegas. But Richie Davis moves around. But not, again, I say it one more time, and forgive me for being redundant. Toussaint didn't move around like that. Samuelson did not conduct himself like that. I don't agree with their politics. I don't agree with Utano's politics. I don't agree with Chiarello's politics. LaTanya Cripps, J.P. Yates, Kelly. But they have enough respect for the membership to not be a moral hazard, to conduct themselves with some decency in that regard. You don't hear these things. And we at see you, brother, I'm saying your name, at TWU Local 100, and we need a brother like Richard Thorne. We need a brother like him with some integrity, proven leadership. We need leadership. We're in desperate need of leadership right now. I want to respect and look up to my president. I'm not going to agree with everything, but at bare minimum, I should respect him as a man. As a moral leader of our union. Somebody who's not going to be accused of hitting women, beating women, saying tasteless comments, making tasteless comments, weaponizing their position. Enough. We all make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. Maybe putting a moral leader, maybe that's a lot to put on any man or any woman. But Richard Davis has not represented us with any honor or any dignity, in my opinion. And we are at a crossroads right now. And I'm saying we as a crossroads, I'm talking about TWU Local 100. We at a crossroads. I don't know who would be his replacement, but that brother has to go. And I'm telling you, as a black man, we all have our prides in our culture and our race and our ethnicity. That's just natural. I don't lie about that. I live in an all-black neighborhood. Anybody can move here, but I prefer to wake up and see black folks. I don't begrudge anybody for wanting to live where they want to live around. I love my own. That's for sure. And everybody should love their own. So I was rooting for Richard Davis. Regardless. I was rooting for Richard Davis. And I tried to root for Canelo Gomez too. Because I wanted to be a bigger man. I have to be a bigger man. I want to be a better man. And anybody who asked me about Canelo, y'all know what I told you about Canelo? I said I hope he grows into the job. And Richie Davis has, in the year he's been in office, it's only been calamity and chaos and embarrassment. Yes, he deserves his day in court. He deserves his day in court. But in the meantime, and that sister deserves the right to be heard. And she should have credibility. But some of the same folks who are saying this, read this thing on Puffy. Read this thing on all these politicians, on Elliot Spitzer, on Snyderman, on Como, and came to conclusions. And some of us are coming to conclusions. Everybody is... Como never got convicted of anything. Como's not governor anymore. And he was a popular governor. And he was a strong governor. And the Assembly and the Senate told him he had to kick rocks. He had to go, irregardless of what some of their constituents might have thought. The perception of him being somebody who had no respect for women and made inappropriate comments was enough that they felt that he could no longer lead. And the same thing applies for Richie Davis. Como led the city of over 8 million people, not counting the suburbs. And he had to go. Richie Davis is above that type of oversight. What are we, kids? These folks at Montague, these folks we elected, has been tasked with protecting us. And let me say this to all the rest watching. This is me. Maybe I'm saying that because my kids are grown. Maybe I'm saying that because I've been married for a long time. But you are our life. If you're a union rep, you, the membership, is our life. And we have an obligation, not only to ourselves, but to you, to purport ourselves, to conduct ourselves in a certain manner. So management have a certain, respect us. So you can have faith in us when we advocate for you. And we don't have that right now. Of course, innocent to proven guilty. I said that. But this man This man has a cloud. There's always been rumor and innuendo, a lot about him. Yes, trans is very gossipy. And I don't want to digress. But it's just everything. This year, he's done an abominable job. And I butchered that word. This year, for the first time, we had the vice president who assaulted a member and got 30 days on the final. And for the second time, we have a union rep. And the first time, we have a president, unprecedented. We're in uncharted waters that's been hit with a civil suit and being accused of putting his hands on a woman. And this is the last thing I'm going to say before I go. Stick up for our sister. The union is going to send women after her to get on Facebook and to discredit her. And for everybody, give her as much support. I hope we give her as much support as folks are going to give defending Richie Davis. And we live in a democracy, and Richie Davis is entitled to his day in court. But when he go to court, he shouldn't be taking the day off from his duties as president TWU Local 100. He should be home. He should be anywhere. He could be anywhere. But he shouldn't be our president. I believe, based on these accusations. And that's all it's been for all these folks that had the decency to step down because they knew that they couldn't lead with accusations and conditions and the diminishing credibility. He can't lead us. He can't go in front of transit and lead us. He has no credibility. He didn't have no credibility during the contract. He really has no credibility now. And again, I don't want to be redundant, but those folks on 9th floor, I don't know who's next up to bat. But I believe that Richie Davis has forfeited his right to lead our membership, my brothers and sisters. Everybody be safe and take care.